some of you I don't, and I'd like to meet you. And I want to get this out of the way before there we go. I'm really happy you're doing this, and to all of you who are, I travel a lot, I read in a lot of places, and I have no doubt that Ada has the same quality of opportunities and people to make those opportunities come true that I experience many other places. So I commend you for doing this, and I'm really happy with what I see going on. I want to read a few poems here tonight and kind of get the mood set, and then I look forward to hearing you read as well. I have I always have a bunch of them out here, and then I try to go with what I feel in the audience, and sometimes I feel it differently on different nights. But since I'm going to start with a New Orleans poem because New Orleans is one of my favorite places, and I know a couple people here who like New Orleans so well. So I'm going to start with this one. There, is that better? Okay. It's called On the Corner, Royal and St. Anne. She strums a mandolin slow, echoes with harmonica, sings sad-sounding songs. People pass with just a glance, no crowds, no clapping, no gleeful street dancing like other performers command in this crescent city. But she is New Orleans too. Her oscillated performance speaks to me, a plaintive voice seeking a home in this world, sweet melancholy, too honest to mask. I want to wrap her in a package and send her safely to the place she has dreamed since a girl standing before a smudged mirror, making musical sense from questions that tinged her thoughtfulness. I want to take her home. I want to give her a stage, but the world is not judicious. But maybe her song endures because singing truth keeps an unfair world from grinding to a halt. Her voice slices the humidity, and we listen, and we are carved into particles that become manageable. Maybe she sings for those of us not lucky enough to find the rainbow, let alone the treasure. Those too preoccupied to face the longing she makes into melodies, daring to stand in these same streets where smiling swing bands swagger, keeping happy people hopping. She is a low-lit lamp on a dark street that thousands pass, and her song must not go out. Her song must not go out. Thank you. New Orleans is a lot of fun, but I could not ever get that image of that lone singer out of my mind. This one's called A Cocktail Waitress. Someone said one time you have a lot of waitress poems, so that's proof right there that I like women, right? This is called A Cocktail Waitress, whose name I fail to remember. But her eyes are pumas, piercing a tangled mess, pouncing. Dumb boys sidle up to her. She ignores them as long as she can, but her job requires a smile, a kind touch on the arm or shoulder as she passes, holding drinks aloft to pacify children who never will man her. But somewhere, I need to believe, after the last superficial to-do has ended, after tabs and tips are counted, somewhere she stands before a mirror, proud lioness that she is, slowly strokes her dark locks, her blackness, her white eyes, burning holes through glass which could never hold her. Thank you. This next one comes out of my childhood, and that'll explain all of the problems I had as an adult. It's called Make Do. One day a boy got on the school bus wearing blue cowboy boots. We teased him about his new boots. He told us his daddy found them at the city dump and brush painted them blue. I wonder if this has aught to do with the fact that that same boy used to piss on the white church wall every Sunday after service, a communion we did not understand. It's a true story, too. Little boy shucking corn. A little boy shucking corn by the burn pile out back of a broken house stands knee-deep in silken husk. Stalks fly in the evening breeze as he cleans yellow ears as long as his arm. His spotted puppy sits atop his metronomic tail, fixated on the silent harvest. Dad glances through the kitchen glass to check on the progress of his boy. August crickets sound and evening doves coo. A meadowlark sits on a fence post. Somewhere in the approaching darkness, a quail calls to her covey in an adjoining field. Unaware of the falling sky about them, the boy concentrates on the tassels, making ready the evening meal. The dad knows his days are not long, their time will end, and this place will be abandoned, and this evening will only be memory. He knows that strand by strand his boy is becoming a man, but tonight he is just thankful for the corn. Thank y'all, you were very nice. I just bought some property out north of Ada. I used to always say I was Ken Hada from Ada, but now technically I'm Ken Hada from north of Ada. And so I was there, been there about a month, and one day I walk out in the pasture and there's people under my persimmon tree. Anyway, this poem came out of that. Sometimes poems you have to work for, years to get them right. And sometimes they just fall into place. This one was written before I got 10 acres back from the fence. Persimmon Sunday. I find them beneath my persimmon tree. They quickly turn to go, though I don't feel the heart to be rough with them. Fences are necessary, I suppose, but they could be meddlesome too. These gentle folks pass every Sunday to visit their boy in prison. They only want to make a pie. I only want to be asked first. The fence divides us. She promises to bring me tarts, and that seems fair. And I think about fairness and their son these days. I'm glad they go see him Sundays, and I tell them so. Their calm courtesy strikes me. Persimmon pie is part of her autumn ritual, something I cannot deny her. I don't need to know how it is they got off the main road. They are seeking the sweetness that comes after the bitterness has ripened. Standing under a tree none of us really own, I see her boy back home years ago, gleefully eating a piece of pie. I see her husband, proud, happy, the gleam in her eye, sweet, sticky juice sliding down the boy's dimpled cheeks. Dark eyes aglow as he wipes his mouth with the sleeve of a flannel shirt. And I want it to be that way again. I want the sour taste expunged. Afternoon gathers and we talk about a hard, killing frost that makes the sweetness a cold, harsh night that ripens this rustic fruit. We shake hands, and I don't look back as I return through fields where yellow grass, orange, dusty, scarlet, and intense lay about me, toss around me in the breeze that carries ladybugs, unsuspecting to their graves. Temper standing in reverent silence as before a judge, as if to judge. Truly, autumn is the most dramatic of days. It is a time to remember, but it is also time to console. I'm always asked, I think all writers are always asked, and it's often assumed that your writing is autobiographical. Streaking at Bible Camp is 27% autobiographical. In the mountains, pure wild bliss, aplomb the hope of heaven after a crisp shower, why not? You rejoiced across camp in front of the youth pastor and other neophytes. The Puritans, of course, made it a sin, and you were asked to leave. But in your expulsion, you brought something back they will never know. And God, sitting cross-legged on a sunny hillside among the firs beyond the tabernacle, laughed right out loud, gently tapped his thigh, and whispered, "Well done, my son. Well done." I'm going to do one more here. And let's see. I'm going to end on a sad note or a happy note. Let's do Old Men. I'll dedicate this to my dear friend Richard Cooper. Old Men. He's not old, but anyway, he will be someday. Old Men. Thank you all for coming to this. It's going to be a great night. I enjoy reading people. I like to be read to. Old men. I make it a point now to wave to old men I pass, Old men standing in shade of a yard, maybe a daughter's place, where now he's just a tenant trying to understand role reversal. I raise my forefinger as I steer country roads or pass through tired neighborhoods. Most return a wave or nod howdy. Driving gives you some perspective, shows you how you might end up. We allow something now, especially those of us sitting on porch swings, those who never got around to going somewhere, those who still feel like something somehow is missing. Thank you all very much.